Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Tyler, and this is my tabletop. And today we are continuing our project digging through the rural village box from TTCombat. We are on to the second building of the set. The second building we're going to be putting together. So this time I went ahead and removed all of the pieces from the sprues so that the video's a little less clunky. So I'm gonna get started on the first floor, and I'm gonna speed this up. So as we start the sped up bit, just like the first building, we're using super glue, just because I can't be bothered to wait for white glue to dry. It's a tongue and groove system. It fits together pretty well, and my head's a little in the way. I'm still getting used to, or I'm still testing different camera layouts. That's also why my name tag is sideways, because it filmed side on, and instead of padding it with big black boxes, I left it sideways. And so we're done with the first four walls, just putting a little bit of glue in the corners so that it sticks together. And now we're adding the porches, I guess, the steps. You can see there that I started to super glue the front door on, or the back door, front door, I think, and decided that I was going to magnetize that later. I've done that with a couple of my other buildings, just so that there's an option as to whether or not I leave it on, so I put it aside and let the glue dry on its own without actually attaching it. And so there we go. Now I've got the steps put on, more or less. And quick view. And the full brick side is what I'm considering the front of the building. And you saw that it had the open door. Now I am attaching the shutters to all of the first floor windows. So this building has two different size windows. It has the thinner ones, and then it has these big chunky ones. So if you're ever assembling this kit, you need to, make sure that make sure you put the right shutters on the right windows. I didn't run into that problem here, but I am still running into the issue of making sure that my shutters are straight, because I can't really look at it super well because the camera's in the way. I'm basically assembling this fairly further back away from the table than I normally like to keep my head. So some things are harder to see. This kit actually has little window boxes, flower boxes. Um, they go on the bigger windows, and it's a two-piece thing. One's got a little like gap, I guess, so that it looks like it's got some depth in it. I guess when I paint it, I'm gonna probably actually try and put little flowers or something like that in there. We'll see. Um, I'm sure I can find something to put in there. I get one. I had a little bit of trouble. It felt like the two pieces of the window boxes were slightly different sizes, and so I had a little bit of trouble lining them up. And that pretty much kept going throughout the project when I put on the window boxes on the second floor, too. And here I pick up the drain, the the gutter drain, and I was gonna glue it on before putting together the second floor, like the instructions say, but I decided to wait so that I could uh, make sure it lines up with the second floor correctly. And so here, you're gonna get to see me make a mistake. Let's see if you can catch it. So there is, the tongue and grooves are a little tight, which is not a bad thing. You'll see me get this third wall on, and then start working on the fourth. As soon as I get it popped. Corner glue. Glue on the tongues, and then here is my dawning moment of realization. Oops. Oops. So I put the two small walls on backwards. Uh, Obviously, the taller wall is supposed to go against the taller part of the side walls. Oops. So I quickly tore the second floor apart before the glue dried too much. You can see I am having a little bit of trouble. There we go. Now it's actually put together the way it's supposed to be. And there. Fix the corners again. And I mean, the bulk of this building is now pretty well done. So now I'm doing the shutters for the second floor. Once again, just make sure you're putting small shutters with small windows, big shutters with big windows. And this goes quick. Cardboard and super glue. I say quick, but it took so long that I decided to up the post time acceleration. So this is about a minute at normal, a little over a minute of normal time, without me being able to really say anything. So after I finish the second floor shutters, I went ahead and put the last two shutters on this little roof window thing. And then started working on the window boxes for the second floor. There's not enough window boxes for every single large window, so you have to pick which ones you want. And my head gets in the way again, because these window boxes were not perfect for... They didn't line up quite perfect, so I was kind of doing it by feel. That was a brief pause for me to scroll down on the instructions so I could see the next steps. And there. Flower box is done. And it's looking pretty good. So I was about to put the... As I dry fitted it onto the first floor, I was about to go ahead and put the gutter drains on, and then I realized that I hadn't put the connection points between the second and the first floor, the little guides that sit on the inside of the wall to prevent it from sliding around, so I decided not to, and I just moved on to the next step in the instructions, which was the roof, which in this kit, the roof gave me a little bit of trouble. I assembled it the way it told me to do it, and I had quite a bit of trouble with the tongue and grooves, not on the long tongue and groove, the zipper looking one at the top of the peak of the roof, but the little peg and holes on the two side pieces. I did get them, but I kind of crushed them a little bit. And then you'll see me wrestle with this next part for quite a while. This one frustrated the heck out of me. So I let it dry for a little bit. Apparently not long enough, because I started working on the roof, and then I put it on, and then I realized that the way it sits in the hole, um, it told me to put the roof on the little window part before I attached it to the main part of the roof. However, I found that I needed to be able to make the adjustments, and then you can see me struggling and struggling and struggling and struggling. This took quite a while. You guys are watching this at 2x time acceleration, and it still takes forever. I was having trouble getting the window panel into the hole on the roof that it's supposed to go in. This was really the first time in this entire box that I've really struggled with getting things to go where they belong. And so I took my box cutter and sliced just a tiny, tiny bit out of the hole so that it would fit a little better. And I started worrying that I was actually going to put so much force into it that I was going to break something. So you can see I finally got it in, more or less. Now I'm putting it back in and taking it back out, fiddling with it, trying to get the tilt of it correct, so that it'll wind up looking the way it's supposed to, I assume. And yes, it's off camera because I was fighting with it and not really paying attention to where it was in reference to the camera. So I apologize for that. I will try to do better to keep it in camera, in frame. Hey, I got the walls on. And even then, it wasn't perfect. The wall on left of screen, as you guys are viewing it straight down, was not quite sticking. And I had messed with it enough to where the glue was kind of not cooperating. Yeah, you can see me, like it wants to flex. This was frustrating. Finally, after getting tired of holding it, I decided that I was going to just take the roof and press the whole thing down on and apply enough pressure that it would hopefully hold until the glue actually dried. And I mean, it looks correct. It took a while. And there we go. And so now I'm putting together the little the anti-wiggle connections between the first and second floor. That's what we're gonna call them. I can't remember what I called them in my last video. They're slightly different style. These ones they're bigger. And there's one set for each corner. And back to 4x time acceleration because there's not a whole lot of extra material I can give you on putting together two-part anti-wiggle devices. But they go together quick, and these ones fit in the holes very well. And now it's just on to putting on the gutters, or the gutter drains. The gutters themselves aren't modeled, so. And so I start with the second floor, and then I'll make sure that it lines, make sure that when I put on the first floor one, it lines up. So second floor is done. And moving on to the first floor. And once again, the last minute of my video managed to vanish, but all I did was glue on the first floor gutter drain so that it lined up. And now I have put the finished building onto a turntable with some of my bolt action minis so you guys can see the scale. Overall, it was a good kit. The roof gave me some grief, but we got through it. So I will be moving on to the next building for the next video. Thank you for hanging out with me. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I've been Tyler, and this has been my tabletop, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you so much. Bye.